Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the Browns offseason so far, you already know that this team has been somewhat quiet, at least on the surface, when it comes to addressing some of their glaring needs. And right now, one of the most talked about topics among Browns fans and NFL analysts alike is the lack of significant upgrades to the wide receiver position. It's quite surprising if you think about it, especially considering how important a dynamic, reliable receiver core is in today's NFL. Yet Cleveland, for reasons that are, frankly, confounding to many, has been pretty much silent on this front. When you look at the roster, it's clear that the Browns entered this offseason with some serious financial constraints, which limited their ability to go out and sign big-name free agents or make splashy trades. But that doesn't mean they couldn't have made smarter moves even in the draft. Instead of investing in the future with a draft pick, they've largely stood still, aside from bringing in veteran Deontay Johnson, who spent last year bouncing around 3 different teams. Sure, Johnson brings experience, but he's not exactly a game changer, and he's coming off a season where he struggled to stay healthy and make an impact. The lack of additional talent infusion into the receiver room is, honestly, a concern that's starting to ripple through the fanbase and analysis circles. And this concern only grows when you consider the long-term plans for the Browns' offense. It's no secret that Cleveland has 2 promising rookie quarterbacks, and by some projections, they might even turn to one of them sooner rather than later in 2025. The question then becomes, are they truly prepared to support either of these young passers with the weapons they need? Right now, the answer appears to be no. The receiver room as it stands is thin and somewhat uninspiring. This could hamper development, especially if the Browns want to be competitive and push for a deep playoff run. Now, I want to pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So given this scenario, one of the more intriguing ideas circulating is whether Cleveland might actually look to make a trade to bolster their receiving core. And interestingly enough, some analysts, like Brandon Austin from Pro Football Network, have floated the idea that the Browns could target a player like John Metchie from the Houston Texans. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Who is John Metchie? Well, let's take a quick dive into his story. Metchie was drafted in the 2nd round back in 2022 out of Alabama, a highly regarded program known for producing NFL-ready talent. But his journey has been anything but smooth. He missed his entire rookie season due to leukemia, which is a heartbreaking setback for any young athlete. Yet despite those struggles, Metchie showed grit and resilience, returning last season and starting to find his footing in the league. His numbers aren't eye-popping, 24 catches for 254 yards and a touchdown, but they're a testament to his perseverance and potential. And here's the key point. After Houston loaded up on receiver talent this offseason, there's speculation that Metchie might be available for a trade, and Cleveland could be looking at him as a low-cost, high-upside option. Now you have to wonder, would Metchie be the answer? The Browns' front office has been known for their patient approach, but with the clock ticking on their current roster, they might need to make bold decisions. A change of scenery could be exactly what Metchie needs to unlock his full potential, especially with a team like Cleveland that's eager to compete and has a solid quarterback situation, whether it's Deshaun Watson or a rookie under center. But of course there are questions. Does Cleveland have the draft capital to make that move? And even if they do, is Metchie the kind of player who can be a true difference maker in the short term? And it's not just about one player. The NFL draft was another missed opportunity in some fans' eyes for the Browns to add a quality receiver. With a deep class this year, many believed Cleveland could have picked up someone who could contribute immediately or at least develop into a reliable target for their quarterbacks. Instead, they stayed put, which has left many feeling that the team missed a golden opportunity to strengthen their offense for the future. Looking at the bigger picture, Cleveland's offense has been somewhat inconsistent over the past few seasons. While they have some talented pieces, Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper, and a promising offensive line, the lack of a true game-changing receiver has been a glaring hole. The Browns have struggled to find that explosive element that can stretch the field and force defenses to respect the passing game. This has often resulted in more predictable offenses, which opponents can key in on. And if you look at the league trends, especially with teams that have playoff aspirations, having a versatile and explosive receiver core is almost non-negotiable anymore. It's what separates good teams from great ones. The Browns, with their defensive prowess and running game, have often been considered a balanced team. But in today's NFL, you need more firepower in the passing game to truly contend, and right now, that's a question mark. Some fans and analysts are speculating that Cleveland might be waiting for the right moment, perhaps during the season or even in next year's offseason to make a big splash. But waiting too long could be risky. The NFL is a league of immediate impact, and if the Browns aren't careful, they might find themselves behind the eight ball when injuries or other circumstances shake up the division and playoff picture. Speaking of the division, AFC North is as competitive as ever. The Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, and Pittsburgh Steelers all have their strengths, and each team has been actively upgrading their rosters. For Cleveland, staying stagnant isn't an option if they want to maintain their status as contenders. The division is only getting tougher, and the margin for error is razor-thin. You can't afford to fall behind because of a lack of offensive firepower, especially considering how unpredictable injuries are and how quickly the landscape can shift. Now, some of you might be wondering, what's next for the Browns? Well, it's a wait-and-see game. The draft, free agency, and trade market will continue to be hot topics in the NFL community. Cleveland's front office has a history of patience, but also of making bold moves when they see an opportunity. They've built a solid foundation on defense with stars like Myles Garrett and a talented secondary, but it's clear that their offense needs a spark. Whether that comes in the form of a trade for Metchie, a surprise draft pick, or a veteran signing, the clock is ticking. And let's not forget about the quarterback situation. Deshaun Watson, after his first full season as the Browns starter, showed flashes of brilliance but also inconsistencies. The team's success hinges heavily on his development and ability to elevate the offense. Supporting him with better weapons on the outside is crucial. If Cleveland can add a player like Metchie or find another hidden gem in the draft, it could be the difference maker that propels them into serious playoff contention. But of course, the fans are eager for more. The hope is that Cleveland's front office is actively exploring all options to improve the team, not just patchwork solutions. The NFL is a league where the margins are slim, and the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit can come down to a few key plays, a clutch receiver making a catch, or a game-changing trade. The Browns have the talent on defense and a solid foundation on offense, but they need that extra spark to truly take the next step. Looking into the future, the Browns' fan base is filled with optimism, but also with a sense of urgency. The AFC North isn't waiting for Cleveland to catch up, they are actively trying to outpace each other. The Bengals have Joe Burrow and a high-powered offense, the Ravens are always a threat with Lamar Jackson and their aggressive defense, and the Steelers under Mike Tomlin never seem to rebuild, they just reload. Cleveland's challenge is to stay ahead of this curve, and that means making smart, strategic moves in the coming weeks and months. In terms of expectations, fans are dreaming big. They want to see this team not just make the playoffs, but also make a deep run. That's why this offseason has so many eyes on them. The roster has some star power, but to truly compete at the highest level, they need to address that receiver gap. The potential is there, but execution and timely upgrades will be everything. And as the NFL season approaches, the anticipation grows. Training camp is just around the corner, and with it comes the hope that perhaps Cleveland's front office will surprise us all with some unexpected moves. Whether it's a trade, a draft pick, or a veteran signing, Browns fans are eager to see the team make a statement that they're serious contenders and not just content with being playoff participants. So to all of you watching, I want you to keep your eyes on this team. The story isn't finished yet. The Browns have the talent, the coaching staff, and the passionate fan base. But they need to be smart, aggressive, and most importantly, proactive. Because in the NFL, opportunities are fleeting, and the window to capitalize on this talented roster won't stay open forever. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.